I will go ahead and pop the YouTube channel in the chat for y'all so you
Yes.
can get on there in case this is your first webinar, you want to catch up. Grand Rising, Patrice.
Yep, exactly. And obviously, if you want to know about our events at Next Mill Mastermind, go ahead and make sure you text NMM to 954-250-6777. This will keep you up to date on, we're doing a lot of special events. We've even talked about, we haven't announced it yet. We're going to have a Super Saturday in January. It's going to be an all-day event. We're working on the finishing touches, which is going to be pretty awesome. We have some other webinars, free events, a lot of stuff coming up.
Yes,
So
guys.
we're mixing, and this is the same thing with on the RIA side, on the BPM side, on the Next Mill Mastermind side. We are kind of hybrid, and when I mean hybrid, we're mixing webinars and in-person events. And the
Drea's
reason,
like,
yeah, and the reason is you could see we have people listening from around the world for our webinars too. So
yes, and with that being said, we do have a private Facebook group, so I'll pop the link in the chat for you guys to get in that business owners private Facebook group. The link is in the chat.
absolutely, absolutely. I say it's 11:04, and according to my clock,
Yeah.
I say we get started. So Alexa, you want to introduce the
Absolutely.
team?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We have Next Mill Mastermind founders in the virtual building. We have Jim from Drea. We have Anish from BPM RIA, and they're both founders of Next Mill Mastermind. That is Next Million Mastermind. And to get us started on an awesome note, you guys, we can't not have a raffle, of course. We want to have some fun in here. We're going to go ahead and give $2,000 off the mastermind for one lucky winner. So go ahead and text the word million to 954-250-6777 for a chance to win the raffle, which is $2,000 off the mastermind. This is Next Million Mastermind to get you to your first and next million for business owners only, you guys. So go text the word to that number. I popped those details in the chat for you guys. And I'm also going to pop some other helpful links in the chat for you guys right now. Like I previously mentioned, we have a private Facebook group so you guys can get connected with our members, non-members, people who want to become members. It's a great and safe space for you guys to collaborate in there. But also we have Instagram, YouTube channel where you guys can catch up on all the past webinars. And then I'll go ahead and pop the link in the chat to find our Next Mill Mastermind events. We do, like Anish said, we do hybrid, we're in person, we're online, we do workshops, we do networking. So goodness gracious, Patrice. And go ahead and click the link in the chats. Get connected with all of our platforms. We want you guys not to miss out on any events, whether it's a learning, a fun, we do it all. So go ahead and get connected with us and definitely enter the raffle. And I'll send each and every one of you guys an email after our webinar today. And I'll also announce the winner for the raffle at the very end, you guys. So
Awesome. And yeah, so a couple things. The $2,000 raffle is for new members. I do
yes.
see some current Next Mill Mastermind members. So if you do win and you're a current member, that's a great $2,000 gift to give to a friend or a family member. So that's number one. Number two, I am super excited just in case you don't know who I am or Jim is. That's pretty crazy. Where in the heck have you been? I'm everywhere. I'm in your sleep. I'm kidding, in your living room. I'm just messing with you guys. And so we're really, really excited. Some ground rules, guys. If you guys got questions for Jim, put them in the Q&A. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible throughout the process. We will throw up some poll questions just to give us an idea of our audience. And I am super excited, even today, because I know Jim's been working on his presentation and knowing the numbers. And you can't have a better guy. The people that know Jim, he knows his numbers. This guy is like beyond technical. procedures, numbers, and his background as an accountant it really shows in everything he does, and that's why he's an integral part of Next Mill Mastermind. So, Jim, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Anish. Thank you, Alexa. So we need to start right now with what you want, right? And we all have the top four. More money. You don't have enough money because you're stuck in your business or you don't know how to grow it bigger. Less stress. Well, look, everybody who's an entrepreneur, you work long hours. A lot of times you work by yourself. You're a one-person show, right? So we all want that. We know what that is. What we don't always know is how and why to build a team. You think it costs money to build a team. Maybe it does. But entrepreneurship is lonely, and you can discover, as many of our members have, that once you build a team, A, your life gets better, and B, the money may flow more. But you need life. You need a team. And in fact, Vijay and I just did a whole meeting on building a team at DREA, a community of like-minded people. Look, we're not selling Girl Scout cookies, and we're not a religious organization, but we are business people. What you will learn, not just from Anish and myself and the other members of the Next Mill Mastermind, you'll learn from the community members. And Patrice can tell you, the community is thriving. And I'm going to talk to you in the context of numbers about some of our members, and you'll be astonished. Because look, numbers are not just money. Numbers lead you to satisfaction. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm the co-chair of DREA, Dade Real Estate Investors Association. I've been a hard money lender for a long time, longer than I can think of. I'm from Oklahoma City, and yes, Sean likes to put this in the thing. I'm a former mortician. I'm not sure what that has to do with, but anyway. And you can see her, if you can see my little compadre here, I'm circling her. Her name is Sugar. She accompanies me, or certainly did when we did a lot of hard money loans. We still do them for rehabbers, but she and I would go look at the properties. And there I am in my vicarious life in a Lincoln convertible. I have a friend from high school, and he restored Lincolns and Thunderbirds, and I just kind of go through him and all his investments and fun because I'm an old car buff. And when I say old, I mean 60s and 70s, okay? Now, here's my compadres here, the Fab Five. You've heard, that's an old joke, right? But look, here we are. And from this side to this side, that's Sean McMurray, Francisco Mago, Viju Katungal, who's co-chair with me in DREA, myself, and Anish Dave. And we are what the first group started calling us the Fab Five. So when we looked at it, we discovered we'd all done together probably over $1 billion in real estate transactions with buy and sell, real estate brokerage, fix and flips, mortgage brokerage. Vijay and I are the owner of DREA. Anish is owner of BPM REIA. Francisco Mago, if you don't know him, it's like Anish says, where have you been? It's certainly a critical part of all of our businesses. And he is the owner of REIFax. Francisco is also what we would call our data guy. He thinks now in AI. What he has done with AI for himself, for his business, and for our members is truly amazing. We have over a combined 100 years of real estate investing experience, and I'm not the majority of that. Don't cast aspersions on the old guy. I've only been doing this since 2000. Massive network in the real estate industry between Viju and Anish and me, and now Francisco with all his customers. There's hardly anyone we don't know. I'm still doing business with people that I did business with 20 years ago. They're still out there. I want to tell you, real estate people, now this doesn't go for the rest of you, even though we're a population of 6 millioners in the Tri-County area, it's a small community. Do your best. Don't talk about anybody because it gets around. Combined 50 years of technical experience. That's important because that's the way that you're going to launch your business. That's the way you're going to increase your business. And that's Sean and Viju. A certified business hypnotist. Well, you saw the guy on the left, Sean McMurray. You know, I mean, hypnosis can bring out what's troubling you, what you need to know. And 14 years of social media experience. Sean's company, Digital Asset Marketing, has taken many of our members and his customers and put them on the map. So we're going to talk about South Florida real estate trends. I promise. I'll give you a little preview here. See the graph? That's a nice graph. But we're going to get there because that's important to a lot of our listeners. But numbers are more than just graphs. They're things that you need to think about in terms of their metrics, right? So I grew up in the funeral business, not rocket science, right? It's based on population, statistics, and how many people, pass away in your demographic area, and then case count. And that's how you value the business. And my parents were going to buy me a funeral home in a small town in Oklahoma. And I said, egads, I just can't do that. So when I graduated from mortuary school, I finished my accounting degree because my mother said, if you're going to be in business, you have to know the numbers. And I do what my mother says. But I got in the car business, selling cars while I was going to college part-time. And until they sold the dealership, I had the highest commission in the history of the dealership. And the gentleman, I called him an old fellow, right? But I was very young then. He wasn't old. Who owned the business was very disappointed that I was leaving to go pursue a career. And he told me, he said, son, and this was a pivotal point in my life. He said, son, if you're ever going to make any money, you got to sell something. Now, this was an American native with a 6th grade education who couldn't run a calculator, did everything on a piece of pencil and paper. He owned his Oldsmobile, Cadillac, and Datsun, that's how old this is, outright, no financing. He paid for his inventory. He owned it. He had a tremendous impact on my life in selling, but that one philosophy, if you're ever going to make it in life, you have to sell something. So fast forward, I was getting my accounting degree. The college chair, the chair of our department insisted that we take interviews with Touche Ross, Deloitte, Haskins, all these big 8 accounting firms, right? That was just what we had to do. And then my girlfriend at the time, she'd already landed a job with Cooper's Lybrand. Cooper's Lybrand, a big accounting firm. They're probably not in existence anymore. And I thought, gosh, I didn't want to do that. So he hassled me till I took an interview with Standard Oil. So I walk in the interview late. And this guy couldn't have been more than 30. I was 22. He said, oh, you must have been selling a car. I said, well, yeah. Who are you? He said, my name is Lane Ritter. And he said, I'll never forget you because you found a car for me. And he did. He called me for a hard to find 280Z with 4 seats. Very difficult to find in market. I found it for him, told him where it was, never gave another thought. Well, it turns out he bought it. It was his heart, the thing of his heart. He wanted this car. He said, I'll never forget you for that. You went above and beyond. So about a month later, I was laid up in the bed with a hangover after my graduation party with Everclear. Parents, don't ever tell your children what Everclear is. I left my brand new graduation present of a Delta 88 and a shrub with thorns on it that night. But anyway, he called me up and made me the offer over the phone. And I thought, well, gosh, all this time in school and that's all the money? Because as a commissioned salesperson, you see, I made good money, even though it was only part-time. And here he's offering me a job that pays monthly what I made in commission. But, I was on this path. So I took it and I went to work the first day. And in the movies, maybe you've seen these old movies with a big old accounting room with these guys with visors, rows and rows of desks, people sitting there. And that's where I was. Lord, what have I done? The people around me, there were like 3 new graduates and everybody else was on the way to retirement. They've been pulling these property cards for 35 years. And this is back before PCs. Everything was done on property cards. We were in charge of the oil production assets for Standard Oil there in Oklahoma. And I did this. And I finally went to my boss, the guy who hired me. I said, look, is this it? is the total excitement of my life doing a surprise audit of petty cash with your secretary. So what does he do? He puts my butt on a plane to Anchorage, Alaska. And there I was on an audit of the oil pipeline, the big Alaskan pipeline. I enjoyed it, and they created a job there for a finance manager of the offshore exploration. So I remembered my car days, my Mr. Hayes. He said, if you're going to be an accountant, you're not going to be better than anybody else, but you got to sell yourself. I sold myself out of accounting into a business unit that explored for oil. Now, I was working with, geophysicists, geologists. They didn't like me because I was a numbers guy. I was one of those puny accountants. But guess what? I knew everybody in accounting. And guess what? I got them their money for their projects. So even though these British people, arrogant, and Texas people, we'll talk more about Texas people later, didn't like me, we got along. And I made my way. I traveled to San Francisco where headquarters was, and lo and behold, I got my boss's job. And I became the head of finance for the Western Region Exploration. Now, the oil business is interesting. Let's talk about numbers. You need to understand numbers. So revenue drives what your company is worth, right? And so you'd think it's real simple in oil and gas. We're selling stuff. We're selling oil and gas. That's our profit. But no, in this business, as in many businesses, one other thing makes the company value, and that was reserves. How much oil do you have to pump in the future? Well, Standard Oil or Ohio was the big kid on the block because they had the Alaska thing. And in fact, my division that I worked for produced no income. What was our job? To produce the reserves, to increase the reserves. Now, here's a little lesson about money that I learned. We had the distinction in my department of the most expensive well ever drilled in Alaska, $100 million looking for those reserves. We also gained the distinction of having the most expensive dry hole ever. So think about this. Who sits in a room and says, well, we're going to spend $100 million on this, and if we make it, it's going to add, 38 billion barrels of oil or whatever, 38 million barrels of oil. But if it doesn't work, So guess what? It was the most expensive dry hole in history. The project was named Muckluck, which turns out to be Native American for ain't no oil here, boys. But nonetheless, I learned a good lesson that it's not just revenue. There are other things that support a business. So I'm going along, I'm 27 years old, living in San Francisco, have an office on the 28th floor, staff, and it's wonderful. Life is good. Now, let me tell you about the power of numbers and power. So because Standard Oil had all these reserves, they stole a guy to run the company from ExxonMobil. And he didn't like San Francisco. There was only one competitor, Chevron. He wanted to be in Houston. So they said, you're going to Houston. We're going to spend millions of dollars to move everybody. We're going to forego the $25 million we spent on our new building, and we're leaving. So power comes with numbers, right? But what I discovered in that process, remember that $100 million? In my job, I had an easier time selling people on a $30 million project than I did a $3 million project. And this is important for you to remember when you're thinking about a loan or your business, whether it's real estate or anything else. Don't think small. Because you see, the people I presented to, or that I prepared presentations for my boss, I can follow all the tick boxes and all this stuff. When they're looking at a $1 to $3 million project, they've got that. They can ask a lot of questions. That's risky business. Gosh, what would happen to me if I lost my 3 million or my 1 million? When you present them with a 30, 40, $50 million project, where all the boxes are ticked, everything is filled out, all the explanations there, it flies through. So think about that. So I left. I went to work for a small company, Legal Publishing, which I absolutely love, in San Francisco. He was an entrepreneur, well-financed. He owned 13 of these across the country. So what drives the publication business? Well, we have to find out the metric. The metric in that business is circulation, number of subscribers. That's why newspapers today are in the toilet, right? Because people don't take papers anymore. They can't quantify. You charge for advertising based on what? The number of subscribers. Well, this entrepreneur, he was a lawyer. He was also, how you say, a journalist. He built a niche of advertising in paper, mind you, this is a long time ago, for lawyers for hire. He had the best classified business. There's not much call for display advertising, selling dresses and whatever in the just pages. And then he had a certain amount of legal business revenue. So based on his increase of classified advertising, guess what he did? He sold the company to Time Warner because they wanted this growing class of intellectual property, and they wanted lawyers. He made $20 million. The rest of us, we just kept our job. So we're rolling right along, and with Time Warner, he develops another product, an internet-based product, except guess what? The internet was not big then. It was just networking called Counsel Connect. And Time Warner thought, this is a great idea. We can connect every lawyer in the country, and we can make tons of money. Let's sell it. Again, numbers, the number of lawyers in the country, reaching them all, giving them data, and an investment banking house bought it. So there I was, for a third time, the company was sold. And their forte was pots and pans. They'd bought and sold. All-Clad, Elizabeth Arden. They knew nothing about intellectual property. Old Jim here was depositing $50,000 a day in the bank in Miami for this business, and they just sucked it off. My bonus went from 6 figures to mid 5 figures. And I said, hasta la bye-bye. But what I learned in business there was not just the circulation. You see, when I got to Miami, I was CFO and COO, and I learned about something that affects real estate. Look at the condos going on there, and that is government regulation. Because you see, Miami was the largest in this group of legal notice publications. What drove that? Chapter 49 of the Florida statute. So my job was to hire lobbyists to make sure the circulation number stayed in our range. We didn't want it too low, because then these little papers like Miami Today could come in and take our revenue. We didn't want it too high, because then the Miami Herald and Sun Sentinel would take an interest. So don't ever ask me to go to Tallahassee. I learned way too many things about lobbyists. And I thought for sure they were going to hell on a rocket, and me with them, for all the things we had to do to maintain our position. The same thing is going on right now with the Florida legislature and the condo regulations. The numbers, the condo cliff is coming because of all the new regulations. So think about, when you think about your numbers, think about what government regulations could point you to. So I left there, went into real estate, and never looked back. But my point of talking about the oil business and this is not to impress you with what I did. It's what drove the business. The same thing drives your business. So I think when we think of our business or any other business we want to get into, we have to understand the metrics and be interested in the metrics. So I'm going to talk for a minute about foreclosures, because I'm a niche person, right? I'm a niche person. I like to figure out which niche is making money, and that's a niche I go after. I'm not stuck on one niche, never have been. Now let's look. You'll all remember this. Let me get back here. You'll all remember this little graph. You see it going up. About 2005, there were foreclosure filings nationwide, about 100,000. That's about normal, because I was in the legal publishing business before that. Then it went up, all the way up here. We were all making money, right, Anish? We were all making money. And we get up here to over 900,000 foreclosure numbers nationwide. And those of us who didn't lose it all here made money. Now, let's go back down. This is when Vitra and I really started making money. because you could find properties on the MLS, and we're going to talk. I've got some graphics on the numbers today of listings. But all through here, really, all you had to do, and Anish was with us, we didn't know him at the time, but we were all making money all this way down because REOs were the thing to buy. I remember we used REIFax, right? And I had a criteria that I searched for by county. And I instructed my mentor students to search for by county. It was 90 days on the market, less than 300,000, this and that. Oh, Jim, that must not have been many people. That was 700 in Broward County. I couldn't examine 700 of anything. Wouldn't you give anything for that today? That's not the way it is. So I whittled it down. I whittled it down to zip code or area of town or wherever the student lived. And we made money, and we made money, and we made money. And look where we got in 2020, almost down to less than normal and up. Now, lack of inventory, we made a lot of money through here. 2021, 22 was our best years. Now, let me show you a little something that may surprise you. This is completed foreclosures REOs. Now, as you know, not every foreclosure sale goes back to the bank. That's all this deals with. So let's again, we see this huge crescendo. Remember, there were 900,000 filings. And in about 2010, here we are with almost 300,000 REOs taken back. And then it tapered off to what is probably below normal today. They're not taking them back. They're not auctioning. We had a Next Mill Mastermind event sponsored by BPM RIA and DRIA. And I had an REO broker speak to us. And he was anxious to speak to us. He wasn't overrun with business. And in fact, he had just come from a national conference of REO executives. Can you imagine this industry group of REO executives and people who work in the industry? They're hurting and they want to keep their jobs, but the banks have been pulling back on foreclosure. I can't answer why. Their answer is they don't want bad press, right? And there's not a lot of there is equity in properties today. Back here, there was not equity. They don't want to be accused of stealing equity. I talked to a guy this week about joining DRIA's partner system. He bought his house in 2020. It's improved 70% in value. He has a 2.61 mortgage. Wild horses could not drag him from his house, even though his kids are college age and gone. He can't leave. He won't leave. That's what's happening to our inventory, and you're going to see that. Now, this graph and the one before is from attomdata.com. Very imaginative. You can find anything you want. I want to give them, because I took it as from the website under fair use, but there is a great source of data like this. Now, notice that in Q1 of 2024, Florida was not even in the top of those with REOs. It ends with Texas, Michigan, California, Pennsylvania. Now, these numbers are getting low. What's a real estate investor to do? So let's look at Miami-Dade. This comes from the clerk of the court. And we can see, sorry, it's a little busy here, but we can see what happened after 2020 and COVID set in. The numbers dropped, dropped drastically, 64%, 60%. And then suddenly in 2021, came back with a roar. This is why we were making money during that time. Remember that graph going down? We were making money because look what was happening here. Case volume went up and went up. 200%, 108%, 25%. Look at this. This is just stunning. This is only Miami. Now here we are in 24. It's flat. It's basically flat. Trust me, having been in the business, this is small numbers. Okay, so this is where we are now. Let's take a quick look at Broward. Now this goes a little backward here from 2023 September on the right, all the way back and all the way back. It's flat, if not going down. So that tells you a lot about where the properties are not. Having said all that, I learned a lot in the legal publishing business. And one of the things that's required in Florida is if you cannot serve someone a summons, you have to publish it. Great source of revenue. You have to publish it. Now, one of the things I read in the court files every day is I read summons, because when they are delivered, it's kind of a good clue as to where this person is. But a lot of times summons are not served. I'm dealing with one now. We're in a partition suit. Oh Lord, this lady is 89 years old and she has evaded us from hither to yon. And finally, the sheriff served her at her house. It was a mess. I didn't want to publish because it would take too long, but we found her. But having said that, a lot of them are not found. So now let's talk about inventory in Miami-Dade right now. These are the classifications I like to look at, and this is why there's not a lot of listings. December 23, the 200,000 to 500,000 range has shrunk to 582. That's the only category that's really shrunk. Why is that? Because we're shifting. Prices have changed and we're shifting out of that price range. So they're shifting up to a higher price category, right? So I did another one from 200 to 799, which is where everything is. Look at the increase just in a year. That's about 24% increase from 2,000 listings in December 23 in less than a year to 2,500. Look at the I like to break out another segment, which is sort of our specialty, 501 to 799. Let's see where the listings are. 1,434 up to 1,926. That's about a 26% increase. And over 800,000 to only 2.5 million. It's gone up about 33%. That's not immaterial, but let's compare that. Now let's look at pre-COVID numbers. And it tells you why Jim isn't running REIFax to find REOs. Because look at that category. And this is mostly because of shifting. But 3,421 listings in the 2 to 500 in January, down to 580. Part of that is because there just aren't as many houses priced at that. But look at the next category, 200,000 to 799. That tells you something. They've gone down almost by half, 40-something%. The 501 to 799 from 1,354. Now that's gone up. Why has that gone up? Again, because of the price shifting. Properties are getting more expensive. Now, let's take a look at Broward. Again, Broward listings are increasing, in my opinion, a little bit more. A little bit more. So we have from 1,062 to 1,175, just in less than a year. 2,472 to 3,201. Again, that's over 25%. 1,410 from 501. Sorry, don't go to sleep on me. I've got more exciting news. 501 to 799. 5 is 1,410 to 2,026. So the trend is growing. Now let's take a look then. Let's bring in 2020. Wow. This number here, 4,598 to 3,201, that's about 48%. So what is happening in our market, real estate investors? What have you got to look for? You have to know these numbers to decide your niche, because guess what? There are still deals happening every day. You get the wholesale list just like I do. Where are they coming from? Knocking on doors, reading court files, all these things. And that's what happens when you come to Next Million Mastermind. I want to tell you a little bit about now. Oh, somebody just put in the thing, condos. I don't really want to go there. I don't loan on condos. I've rehabbed condos with partners, but no more. I won't dwell on this. We're going to have something at Real Estate Super Saturday on condos. You'll be amazed. But look at the listing jump just in less than a year of under 500,000 in Dade and in Broward. Amazing. All of these things play into our analysis. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can tell you that some of the members of Next Mill Mastermind, in fact, if you think they're all real estate investors, you're wrong. We have a roofer, we have a TV personality, we have real estate investors, we have a builder, We have a partner in a title company, car guy. We have a lady and a woman in tax practice. We have a real estate syndicator whom you'll meet very soon. But all of these people in all of these different business do the same thing that we're doing here. They're looking at their industry numbers. I mean, the roofer, let's talk about him and what he got out of Next Mill Mastermind. Now, he wasn't always in the roofing business, and he's like Viju, he has soft hands. He doesn't do the roofing work himself. And his business is in Colorado, one of those fancy towns like Vail or Aspen. And so what he realizes is this is not going to last forever because he only does what? New construction. Now he's doing really well. You say roofers make all the money in the world. Why would he need to go to a mastermind? Well, look, he lives in Coconut Grove. His business is in Colorado. Maybe he wants to sell it. One of our tenets of the life strategy is you build your business so that you can sell it, which means it runs without you. This business does not run without our guy, Bob, right? So he's in his hot seat. Imagine this, the 5 of us there and his peers. He's talking us through this business and how he probably needs to diversify and get out of it. And we're all thinking, why would you want to get out of this business? Yes, we'd love to see you in real estate. We'll teach you how to thrive in real estate. Why would you want out of this lucrative business? So it didn't take the Fab Five to tell him this. The whole group started throwing out ideas of why aren't you in the roofing business here? Oddly enough, it's not something he thought about. This is a bright man, mind you. This is not his first business. Suddenly the daddy guy throws out, I can get you a list of everybody who needs to buy a roof based on age. Viju says, I can help you with a marketing plan. And here he is now in the business in South Florida. That's the power of a mastermind, collective thinking. Are we geniuses? No, we're just thinkers. We're helping think through the problem. The lady with the tax business, I learned a lot about that. That's a big competitive business. She's a successful real estate investor. How do I know that? I was her mentor over 10 years ago. So she got a real estate business built up, passive money coming in, and the tax practice was being run by her daughter. She went on a year's tour. Now, why does she need a mastermind? Well, guess what? When she came back, the real estate had not grown. The tax business, which is subject to a lot of competitors, was actually decreasing. So she had to get back involved. That's not what she wanted to do with her life. Okay? So we talked it through in our hot seat. We talked it through in the meetings after. And she was reluctant. We learned about her tax practice. We all know about real estate. She's back on track, getting her real estate portfolio built up. We help her with things. But the tax practice was something where she really needed to understand, build it up so you can sell it. And just this month at the meeting, we do a monthly meeting, right? She says, I now have a competent partner for the tax practice. That will run itself, and she's on her way. Our syndicator, a lovely woman named Cynthia Trammell from Texas, and I'm saying her name because she did an interview with Anish recently, and you can find her on Drea.com. I have a little segment that Viju and I do called Drea Street Talk, and we interviewed her. Why did she come to us? She's buying properties. She's buying all kinds of multi-unit properties. Why? Because she wants to give back. She wants more purpose in her life. And you're going to see her soon with a new course that teaches people how to not just do her business, but how to live well. She's targeted towards women that'll work. You're going to see more of Cynthia, and you can meet her. All this to the Next Mill Mastermind. And then the car guy. Okay, I was in the car business, right? I know a lot about cars. What this guy does is amazing. He can sell a car every other week and live well, or live, right? So you say, well, Jim, why would he want to come to Next Mill Mastermind? Because he had an idea. He had an idea that he needed to expand it. He's a single dad with more than 3 children, right? And you have to have money, and you have to have what else when you're dealing with children? Time. So how could he duplicate himself? Well, he knows a lot of us are in the mentoring business. We're in the course business. He was a teacher, delivers teaching skills well. End result now, he's worked with Sean on his media presentation. He dresses sharp, he markets, and his price is no longer less than $1,000. We rectified him of that quite quickly. Now he's on his way to getting what he wants. Is it more money? Yes, to a degree, but it's freedom to take care of his children and the money to pay for college. I mean, they're all going to be college age. He has a daughter, got a great scholarship to a school, the equivalent of Juilliard. But guess what? She has to live. It takes money to live somewhere, food and all these things. The real estate investors come to us. One, his name is Matthew. I know he's really good because, again, he was our student, but he did a plateau. So we talked to him about his numbers, and that's one thing that you have to do at Next Mill Mastermind. All of these people did it. You have to share your numbers with us. No, you don't have to give us your 1040 amount. We're not interested in your personally. We're interested in the metrics. We're interested in how many cars you sell. We're interested in how many tax returns you do. We're interested in how many real estate commissions you have. We're interested in how many wholesale deals you have. So we came up with a prescription for Matthew. And the same with the lovely Aisha, who has her own YouTube channel, I will add. She came to us with similar things. We worked with both of them. Matthew, at the last DREA meeting, fulfilled part of his plan. Because you see, in the hot seat, we learn your numbers. We learn where you want to go. And we learn the help that you need. That's the important part of this. And it's not just the 5 of us, it's the entire community. Matthew now has a live assistant in his office, and they're building a network of VAs and other contact methods to take his wholesale numbers from here, which he told us he had, to here, which he told us he wants. That's the power of Next Mill Mastermind. Now, I could kind of go on and on about the people, and this is on, like I said, we have a television personality, we have a title partner. All these people have a modicum of success, just like you. They may have an idea. How can we get it off the ground? You see, the advantage of Next Million Mastermind is there are 5 of us, and we're here. That's not normal in this industry. The other advantage is you meet people, like-minded people, and build your community. Guess what the founding group did, Next Mill Mastermind? They have their own WhatsApp. They work together. They do business together. I mentioned the real estate investors, Matthew and Aisha. Guess what? They're talking together. Unheard of in the business. Gosh, they might learn something from me. But they're both going to learn. There's enough meat in the pie all around here for everyone. That is the value proposition that a mastermind offers. And there are masterminds all over the country, good ones. Certainly Anish and Sean are in other masterminds. They spent fortunes building their mastermind community. And they said, you know, we really need one here. Bijou and Francisco, we're on it. Francisco's been in a mastermind. The only mastermind I was in was, remember I told you about this product with the American lawyer, the Counts Connect. I was in a mastermind with a lot of lawyers who were employees. They had nothing to lose. Kind of a downer. This one's much better, because everyone in the mastermind is just like you. They've got some success. They've got an idea. Let's move it on. That's what we're here for. So I don't mean to preach at you, but I just want you to understand numbers. Now, there's a fellow that's in our group. Actually, there are 3 fellows named Michael. So if your name is Michael, please apply. We'll set up your own group for you. But anyway, they're both realtors, and I want you to meet them. And I'll tell you a little bit more afterwards about them. Now, let's see here.
Hi, my name is Michael Ruiz, and I am with the Robin Hoods of Real Estate. And before I joined the Next Mill Mastermind, I was very confused. If you're like me, I've been in the real estate business for over 40 years, and believe it or not, you would think that after 40 years, I knew what the heck I was doing. Well, no, not everybody does. And it's just got to the point where I needed some direction. So ever since I joined this group of mastermind experts, people that I have been admiring for decades, I am just in shock and honored to be here with the people that have been in the trenches doing everything that we've been wanting to do. These guys know exactly what to do. These guys have been doing it forever and ever. Now, one thing is important that I learned, and I had to come in here with a humble heart and put my ego aside and forget the fact that I've been doing this probably longer than they have, because they have a lot more success than I have. So you learn from people that have the success and people that are doing it. So don't waste time, don't hesitate anymore. Just stop fighting, stop beating yourself up, stop thinking about it so much. Stop thinking, should I or should I not? I'm telling you, you found your home. My hot seat was sizzling. My hot seat was really good, and I came prepared, so I hope that you come prepared with your hot seat and your questions and your thoughts and your challenges, because that's exactly what I did. If you're anything like me, you have so many opportunities, or maybe you have none. And these guys, out of nothing, they can either help you visualize and see where you can find the opportunities, or if you are like me, probably, that you had too many opportunities and you're just all over the place, and you have the shiny object syndrome, or it's not just that they're just shiny, you just have a lot of opportunities. These guys were able to help me without a shadow of a doubt, laser focus, quickly tell me, you're wasting your time with that, and you shine on that, and that's where you have to be, and this is what you have to build. I mean, what can I say? You need that. You need to come on that mastermind, you need to come to that hot seat, and let them tell you exactly what you need to do. Because they're doing it because they want what's best for you. Literally, you need to come to the next mastermind, Next Mill Mastermind right away. You really do. Come, check it out, and you're gonna see the quality people. And if you see me, come and say hello. Say, hey, Robin Hood. Thanks. Talk to you guys later. Hi, my name is Michael Ruiz.
Hi, my name's Mike Johnston with Johnston Home Team. And before I joined the Next Millionaire Mastermind, I had my businesses compartmentalized in many different areas. Since joining, I've been able to take those businesses and streamline them and put them in a future course of where I can actually take action and make them work much more efficiently. So, thank you. So part of the experience was doing the hot seat, which we all get a little bit nervous about. It's basically just taking everything that you have, talking about it, personal and business, and then getting feedback, which we're all afraid of, but sometimes it's necessary. And in this case, it was great for me. It really helped me align what my next steps are and what directions are to go to be able to turn what my ultimate goal is into residual income, and just put me on a path that's a lot more direction. So thank you guys, I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the next several meetings in the future. So thank you guys, thank you for the Fab Five, thank you for the Next Millionaire Mastermind experience. Hi, my name's Mike Johnston.
So I want to talk to you quickly about the Michaels. We have one more Michael and we won another Michael. So Michael Ruiz, did you hear him say Robin Hood? Michael's very successful at short sales, but you saw my graph. It's going down. So why did Michael join Next Mill Mastermind? So he could harness some of those opportunities in the shiny objects. Mike Johnston and his wife have a $38 million in sales real estate business. You don't have to be a mathematician to figure out that's plenty of money. Why would he join the mastermind? Because, as we said in the beginning, they were doing it all themselves. They wanted a life. Michael and his lovely wife have found what they need. And guess what? That was in 2023. By mid-2024, they were already up to 22 million. They had help. They learned to not do it all themselves. So wherever you are, if it's money, if it's time, if it's a life, enough is enough. Say it. Today, you can change things. You deserve more than a lonely life as an entrepreneur. So let me talk to you a little bit. I promise I'll make this part short. And by the way, if you're wondering, the next Mill Mastermind opportunity for hot suits is March. But if you join now, you get to join in on the monthly meetings. And the monthly meetings are so important for you to learn and understand what's going on in the business. So we want you to consider joining now. You know, you get the life strategy, where we teach you to command your own ship, where we teach you to build your business to sell. Now, you might not want to sell your real estate business. The point of that is so that you're not running it yourself. You can go on a vacation. You can go away with your wife or your husband for a weekend and not worry about the business. The hot seat. I can't stress this enough. These guys told you what it did for them. That's not all there is to it. But one of our members, Kevin, I'll never forget him. He's my hero. He owns real estate. He's doing well. His wife is doing well. But what he discovered is that he didn't have time to spend with his wife because he wasn't using others. This man probably, I won't speak for him, probably had never spent 45 minutes in his life talking just about himself. You need that sometimes. And you hear things about yourself, but more importantly, other people hear things. Other people pitch in. Everybody showed love to Kevin, and he's living. He already took his wife to Abu Dhabi. They're having a great time. Did he come for money? Yes, money will get there, but he couldn't produce more money feeling so stressed. So that's what you get out of the hot seat. It was eye-opening for many of the two Mikes just told you. The NMM community. As I said, we're not a cult. We're not a religious group. We're supportive. We're supportive of one another. Unheard of for two investors to meet together. Bob the roofer held a big dinner at his house for everyone. It's just where we talk about business and we talk about you and your business, and you talk about them and their business. Ideas flow from smart people, and you're smart people. So the benefits, you get 2 3-day masterminds, you get 12 monthly group calls, daily community support, unlimited access to the Fab Five, and the life strategy, we value it this way: 100,000 information requirement analysis, a time with Francisco, $7,500 value. The private Facebook community, don't discount that, worth a lot. The partner system with Viju and me, we have the lead generation workshops, the tax lead workshops. Initiatives, do not miss Quick Start for real estate investors. That's free. Online marketing review with Sean McMurray of Digital Asset Marketing. What you're missing by not being out there on Facebook and the other mediums, Facebook, not YouTube, and the other mediums is amazing. Membership in BPM RIA, and you get to come to the DRIA main meetings for free. That's $119,490, but we have bonuses for today only. And this is important. You've always heard this: 2 tickets to Turning Point. Have you ever heard of Marshall Silver? We've known Marshall for 20 years. He used to come to our real estate events and levitate people, okay? But what he can do for your mind is amazing. That's nearly a $6,000 value and worth it. 2 tickets, 30 minutes, success accelerator coaching call with any of the 5 of us. You pick one. Custom recorded self-hypnosis roadblock obliterator with Sean. Now, the recording is for you. It's not for us. We're not going to make you upset. This is something that will open up your mind, and it's free. It comes with this. So that's another $7,990 of benefits, right? So what's your total investment? $20,000. But, of course, with an issue on the line, I have to say there's a reduction for your investment if you act now. So here's our guarantee. You have unlimited access to the Fab Five by text or email until you tell us you have received the value you intended to get out of the Next Mill Mastermind. I gave you 2 videos. I talked to you about people. I could do videos of every one of them. We had 3 real estate brokers. Now, so here we go again. The Next Mill Mastermind live strategy, the information analysis, the private Facebook group, the partner system. the quick start for REI, real estate investors, the online marketing review, amazingly important. The member benefits and this 30-minute accelerator coaching call, 2 tickets to Turning Point, custom recorded self-hypnosis roadblock obliterator. Oh, that is fantastic with Sean. A total of $127,000 in value. And today, for the early mover investment, it's $15,000. If all this mastermind did was make you more money while working less, so you can spend time doing what you want to do, would it be worth it? I mean, I want to ask you, if this mastermind provided you with direction and for new and existing business, wouldn't it be worth it? If all it did was provide you a community filled with go-getters, and I introduced you to some, with not only their growth, but with your growth, who are concerned about you and your growth, wouldn't it be worth it? Think about this today and scan me. So,
Yeah. So Jim, it's like, without a doubt, Jim's really talking about the power of masterminds. I did see some of you guys are in masterminds, and a lot of you guys are not. I've spent, well over, gosh, I want to say about $140,000 in the last 2 years, 3 years, between mentorship and masterminds. And I know I do well. And I realize there's a lot of work to be done, meaning I wanted my time back. So our mastermind is really unique because the groups are small. So I know when I thought of masterminds, and there might be 100 or 200 people, high net worth people, and those are great. I'm not knocking on them. It's just that for me, it felt like an expensive BNI, right? So if you guys know your local BNI group, what we realize, right, your first job is happiness, right? And when I say happiness, it's about fixing all the things at home, right? Whether it's your relationship, your kids, your time. And what we want to do is a balance. And so those hot seats, it's not just about growing your business and holding you accountable. We want to see things happen in your personal life also, movement, right? What we've learned, with Jim and Viju and Francisco and Sean, it's nice to make money, right? And you want to become a millionaire or have that financial freedom. It's a lot more fun when you're doing it with other people, right? If Jim's the only one that's making money, I'm going to say, well, that's great, Jim. You're making money and you get those vacations. What about me? So our goal is to push you, right? Hold you accountable. And the hot seats, as our founding group have noticed, is before you know it, it's a few months and you're up there and you're like, crap, I didn't get anything done on that end of it, right? Or, people have seen, whether it's Viju, like Viju right now is in India. He flew out there for a couple weeks. I'm a big baseball fan, so if you guys have been following me everywhere, I don't want to hear it. I'm a Yankee fan, so my team got crushed. And you know what? The day before the game, I flew out to LA. Antonio, who's one of our members, I said, you got 2 hours to figure out if you want to fly out tomorrow. And he did, right? So the idea is we want you to be happy, right? And live the life that you want. And so one of the things that we do during the event is life by design. And we really work on this life wheel. And what we figured out was, even for me specifically, is I have less than 20 hours to work in my business. So I better be efficient as heck is something that's really important for us. Some of the other things is we don't take everybody. And what I mean by that, there is a 2-person interview process. Just because you're my best friend, and if you don't pass the interview with Jim or Viju or Sean or Francisco, you won't be able to get in. So we have turned down people that we thought were not a good fit for the group. So just because you have the funds to do it, that's fine. And you do have to get approved, because we want to make sure that with the hot seats, that you're okay with taking feedback. And more importantly, besides the 5 of us, right, is that you guys have a lot of expertise in your life, right? So we want you to be able to give feedback too. It could be something as simple as a relationship. You want to leave generational wealth or your business. How do you get your son or daughter into the business? How do you not get them into the business, right? What are those goals, right? So those are really, really important factors. And also I think that's really unique about our group is there's 5 people in the industry or 5 people as founders, and we've been crushing it that way, right? Meaning, if you need social media, we have Sean. You need tech information, it's Francisco. And then on the real side, between the 3 of us, if we haven't seen it, which I'd be surprised, and if we haven't seen it, that's okay because we have a massive, massive network. So this goes hand in hand. I know some of you guys are mentoring students or former mentoring students with DREA or BPM RIA. This is a hand in hand situation too. What I am going to kind of do, this is off script. Jim, don't kill me. Hopefully the other guys won't kill me a little bit too. So this Wednesday, November 20th, we actually are doing a mixer for people that are interested, that showed interest. It's invite only. So what I'm gonna do is, Alexa, if you don't mind, I guess, you already read my mind. She put it in the chat. So for the first 3 people that fill out an application, you will get an invite to our next Wednesday mixer in Las Olas, 5 p.m. It will be closed by Friday. So for the first 3 people that are gonna take action, we're gonna go ahead and do it. So again, also our $15,000 price, it is a discount of $5,000 for people that take action. Again, the bonuses with Marshall Silver, Jim, Viju, Sean, Francisco, we've all been out there. It's pretty amazing on that end of it. So we're throwing all the stuff in. And again, for us, we want to make this a win-win. You guys, I know Jim was talking about one of our members, in the car business. Guess what? I became his first student. I put it in the chat. I invested with him. Cynthia, that we've talked about, who I did the webinar with, we found out her passion is teaching. And we really found out a gap that it's more difficult for women in the multifamily space, right? So let's say you want to become a speaker and teaching's your passion. Well, I think it might help out that part of the mastermind, you got the 2 biggest RIA owners in South Florida. So I'm just going to say it and nicely, Jim he won't say it, but me, I'm always off the cuff, is like, I have favorites. And what I mean by that, when you're in our group, you're my favorite, right? So I'm going to push you to the next level too. So I think it's always important that, the mastermind, there's a lot of things going on there, and we want you, and, some of the questions I put up there is, some of you guys need help with scaling your business. We got that, right? So the mastermind I'm in, and we're using the same techniques. Alexa will tell you, we last year did over 90 events. It's Alexa, myself, and 2 VAs. We have built out systems, right? Alexa has been traveling all over the country to bachelorette parties everywhere I've been traveling, and we haven't skipped a beat, right? Some of you guys are saying, hey, I'm not really good at marketing or social media. Sean is expert beyond belief, right? Maybe you want to get into development. Viju knows how to, about development on that end of it. And sometimes with Francisco, which is, I don't know where he finds information. It's even beyond me, where some of the stuff he finds. So a lot of times he's just finding information, whatever your business is, on the data. And so today, even though we talked more about real estate, it's about knowing your numbers on that end of it. So what we've done as the 2 largest groups, and we do have people that are not in real estate in our mastermind, and we do have people that don't live here in South Florida. So I do want to let you guys know that too.
Yeah.
So
Thank you guys so much for answering the polls. Really helps us know where you guys are at. Really, really appreciate that. And I did include the link to apply in the chat. So like Anish said, first 3 people to apply will get invited to an invite-only event next week in Las Olas. You'll get the details if you go apply. So go do that right now. Link in the chat, nextmillmastermind.com. And I don't want to interrupt you guys, but I do have a winner for
so
All right.
one person's already made $2,000, you're telling me?
Yes, but you do need to apply still so that we know we can lock you in there. So, my winner for the $2,000 off of the mastermind, and please go apply still using the link in the chat, is Dawn M. Congratulations, Dawn. I'll be in touch with you, and I hope that you're free on Wednesday next
Yeah,
week.
and I just want to thank, I mean, I see people from Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and a special shout out to one of our good friends, Shailene. We love you
Yes.
as usual through National Maria. So for us, it is a privilege to be doing these webinars. If you also email info@Nextmill Mastermind, if there's topics on the mastermind between the 5 experts that you guys want to do, we could probably come up from it. We've been doing in person, whether it's down in South Miami, we did an event, we've been doing them in Broward. The key is the in-person events. Again, we don't mind doing them. It's just that you guys have to show up. That's the rule of thumb. So I know Jim gets the same thing. Hey, more in-person events. We pay for all this stuff and you guys don't show up. It breaks my heart on that. So make sure you come and join us too. So Jim, man, you are the numbers guy, man. I love that, it's like with the 5 of us, what I love about our personalities, Jim keeps us on board. Not too high, not too low on that end of our business of what we do. So
It's true. Thank you, Jim. And
Thank you all for attending today.
yeah,
Yes.
any last words you got, Jim?
Well, I want to say about the in-person events, the in-person events are participatory, they're fun. And that's why you should come. It's not just standing lecture like I had to do today because I couldn't really interact with you. The one we did with Sean about the superpower of procrastination, he actually had a guy up front and we went through his issues. It was fun and informative. So be sure, as Anish says, sign up for those live events. You have no idea what you could learn.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
true. And the people that you can meet out there, it's really, really
Absolutely.
effective as well. So, and thank you guys who do show up. Like, you guys can see on our social media the awesome events that we've been putting on. We're always posting. So get in touch, get connected. We're on Instagram, we're on all the places. So, oh, thank you so much, Jorge. I appreciate that. Thank you, Michael. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the good feedback in the chat box. And we will have another webinar for you guys in December, so please look out for that. We did record today's session. We'll post it to our YouTube channel, so go share the replay with somebody who needs it, as well as look out for my thank you email that I will send you guys. It's coming from info@nextmillmastermind.com, and please reply with your topic suggestions. We're planning out 2025, you guys. This year is coming to a close. It's absolutely crazy. So lots to celebrate. Be the first 3 to apply on the website, nextmillmastermind.com, and you will get an invite to our end of the year celebration with our members and VIPs. So go do that. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Yes, and make sure you give us 5-star review
Yes.
because otherwise it hurts Jim's feelings if you don't put a
Yes.
5-star Google review on the work that he did today. It
Yes.
just helps us out, you guys. So we really, for us, we want to get the word out because we're doing some pretty impressive things here in South Florida, and we want to really share it. And the big thing is whether, and I know Jim really I didn't get into it on the politics side. I said it when you came to the meeting, if you came in person, we are the United States of America. So the idea is to come together and it's, there's enough room for everyone to make money and be
I
happy
believe
too. So thank you guys again. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you for the guys I've seen for the last 5 or 6
Yes, seriously.
times, Jorge, all the way through. Some of you guys, we do have a few seats left also for our quick start this weekend. So I'll see some of you guys then too. So thank
Yes.
you.
Have a great day, guys. See some of you guys this weekend, and we'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.